Lost Clans, there's fucking war. There's war. There's war. There's
I found that working with Sin of Man was a bit different in several ways, actually. One, because they play different music than pretty much every band that I've worked with. They were willing to go further and do what it took to make sure that they came out with the best quality possible. And a lot of bands are really willing to sacrifice their art for the sake. I mean, they'd rather keep their money than it's like they're more willing to spend their money on getting tattoos and some fucking cool boots than put it into their art, even though they outwardly talk about believing in themselves and believing in their music, you know? And I think that, well, it was obvious that Sin of Man came in and were willing to do things right, no matter what. To put the budget together and to really produce themselves in a way that came out with a good quality product at the end of the day, you know? And a lot of bands just don't have the balls to do that. I found that each of the members of Sin of Man were also unique, you know, as the band was unique compared to other bands I've worked with, and members were as well. Mark, for instance, was a guitar player that uses a lot of pedals on a big pedal board. And a lot of times with a guitar, effects are added, like effects like delays and reverbs and things are added post or in the mix, like after the tracking itself. And with him and all the pedals and everything, what you hear is his actual tone. It's nothing that I added. I didn't add delays, I didn't add reverb, I didn't add a damn thing. It was what he did from his amp by himself with his own effects, and that was very very unique from a lot of the guys I work with. Don't have a mindset for having such elaborate textures guitar-wise, and while I can always add, I felt, especially with his rig and his style and the way he did things, it was best to just let him have at it. But as far as Chris, I really thought your bass player was, he's got a very keen ear and a very, he's very critical of being on time and playing things right. And he hears things that other people don't hear, you know, and he wants everything to be as perfect as possible, right? But he has a very unique bass tone too, and I thought that was very refreshing, you know, to work with a bass player that was that had a unique tone and a unique style, and that really cared about what he did, and so I was really happy, you know, at the end with the bass tone. And with Dusty, his vocal style pushed me when we first started working together. Whenever I'm starting to work with bands, I don't really know exactly what to expect, you know. I got to hear your MySpace stuff and what was posted there, but still I don't know exactly what I'm going to have to deal with. And once you came in, we started working together, and I learned very quickly that I needed to be armed and able to move quickly to like not lose our momentum, and because you do a lot of voices from the whispers and the screams and the low voices and the melodic singing and you know, not only the the main vocal, but the harmonies, and you just have all this fucking vocal stuff going on. And so after I think the first song, you know, we found our rhythm and it was easy to work together. Plus we're both boozers.
Yeah, that helps.
That helps.
For sure.
And then last but not least, Larry. Larry was cool because I'll tell you this, dude. Most drummers don't have the fucking guts or the fucking talent to play with a click, and Larry played with the click, and he knocked his shit out, and he kind of has a combination, a style of his style is kind of a combination of many things. Where he's got the subtlety of the hi-hat shit and the cool tom work, and then there's still the aggression and the double bass, and he seemed to have he had an opinion, and sometimes just someone that has a clear, definite opinion is nice. Because there's so many times that like other members don't have like a clear-cut opinion,
or they won't voice it. You know, they're afraid to voice it, and then he's like, or boom, hey, we, you know, and he always brings out things that I don't hear necessarily, or maybe I'm focused on myself, I'm not listening to Mark, or you know, or I'm listening to my,
or he pushes the quality
Yeah.
even too, because
Which is
he
great,
says
yeah.
it's not good enough, and
Yeah,
you're like,
exactly.
hey, fuck you, it's good enough.
Exactly.
And he's like, it's
Do
not
it
good
again.
enough. And then you do it again, it's better. You're like,
Alright. There you go.
You're an asshole, but it's better.
Yeah, exactly. I hate you, you know, but it's all good now. No, just kidding.
The recording process. All right. Well, it was fairly simple. Basically, the guys came in, and they had already done all their homework and figured out all the times and all the changes and all that kind of stuff, the meters and blah blah blah. So we formulated a click track for each of the songs and recorded scratch guitars for each of those songs, and then we set up the drums and got the drum tone and the drum sounds and set up everything. So Larry was very comfortable with the monitoring volumes between the scratch and the click and his drums and all that. Laid down the drums, and then after that we tackled the guitars next, and Mark came in and we layered all the rhythm guitars, and then did the leads, and then we did Chris's stuff, and Chris came in and layered all his stuff, and once that was done,
and then the real work began. Yeah, the real work.
right, and then Dusty and I started chipping away at the vocals.
For me personally, it was one of the better experiences that I've had recording vocals. I've done it quite a bit, but this was one of those instances where I clicked. Me and Jerry clicked. He knew what I was listening to. He knew where I was coming from. Which was great. I work with a lot of engineers, a lot of producers. They don't really know where exactly I'm coming from. They're just tracking it. But he had a feel for what I was trying to accomplish.
Yeah, so that was pretty much it. And then once we had everything tracked, then came the mixing. So then came the hell.
Right.
And so the end came down to a little bit of editing and just like really dialing in final tones and doing a bunch of rough mixes so the band can decide how tonally how they wanted the instruments and the mix and everything, and just dialing in the subtleties of the volumes and the panning and all this bullshit that comes into it.
It was like this. It was like, hey Jerry, we trust you. Work your magic.
Yeah,
Just make. I'm like, Jerry. I know I fucked up in this section, but you know what? Just make it work, dude. Just make this fucking badass. And he always made it badass, so that's fucking cool, man.
That is cool, but you guys are definitely in the producer role, so as long as and that's really what it takes, because at the end of the day, I want the band to be happy with the mix, and that's what it all comes down to. It's your art and your expression, and so you're the boss with the end of it. Even one night when we were vibing, we had my wife Asperia.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. Which was the perfect addition to the you know, it's like I really wanted to get that alternate, not opinion, but the opposition, you know, the juxtaposition of our two voices going. And even though, you know, and when I do it live now, it's a
song.
yeah. And now I do her part, you know, I try to mimic what she does, which is very intense, a very intense kind of shrieking part, and it's it definitely added to the end of the song. And I love, you know, she laughed at the end of the song.
Right,
you
that
know?
was just totally
totally random. She's
not,
you know, not
not
necessarily a nervous laugh, but just a laughter that was just like, wow. You got to keep that, dude. Don't get rid of that, because that just adds to that. It adds to the lyrical content. It adds to the ending of what I was trying to build. You know, which was great. You know.
All right, cut.
Cut.
All right.
So we recorded a few times Cinnamon with a few other recording studios, and it didn't seem like anybody had their shit together at all. And my buddy Nylock, who's the guitar player in Dros's band Sothis, he said, yeah, my drummer's also got a nice recording studio and recorded some of our stuff. And I listened to it and I'm like, yeah, that sounds pretty good. He's got nice equipment, he's got a nice place, he's taken the time to create a comfortable environment, which most of, you know, blood red walls and, you know, the black outline and just pentagrams and
Documents everywhere.
Where we were
So
at.
recording at Black Static was the right thing to do.
it was.
Cheers.
Cheers to that.
Goddamn.
It definitely was, man. It was the right fucking thing to do.
I was really happy about the final product because when I started this group, I sort of had an idea of what the band was going to be like, and as we went along, you know, it turns out that I eventually found the right people to create the music that was in my head and what I thought it could be, and I found out that later that what was in my head alone was nowhere near what it is now.
I think the final product, to me, is the culmination of about a I don't know, a year. You know, maybe not a year, but, you know, 6 months at least of us going, you know, this is what we want to fucking do. This is where we want to fucking go. This is exactly what we wanted to accomplish, you know. So it's like, I hope you guys enjoy it, and you know, it's one of those things where, you know, we appreciate our bro putting the time and effort into this fucking this project, and I think you guys will appreciate it too, because I think that it's something that it's from the heart, it's from the soul, it's real. It's not contrived, you know. This is something that was the goal, to create something that was authentic, something that was real, something that wasn't contrived, you know.
A moment captured in time.
A moment captured in time, exactly.
Yes.
A moment captured
Yes.
in time, you know.
Nice.
So hope you guys enjoy it.
All right.
Hey, can you move in center? Right there. Okay, this is right.
Can you take out
This
your
is this
cock?
gets you from like.
Take out your cock.
This gets you from here.
Beat it
here
against
up.
your head.
Hey, this gets you from here up. Do you want like, your
Yeah,
whole
put
body
your
or?
penis out. Yeah, whack it against your
Okay.
chest.
All right, that's cool.
Yeah, do it.
I could.
Dross, can you please?
I don't really know what else to say.